Chelsea, please, for the love of God, stay away from Victor Osimhen. According to reports, Lukaku goes to Napoli and Victor Osimhen goes to Chelsea on loan with an option to buy. And this is what you call a statement signing. If you haven't already, please go down, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, we're less than 700 subscribers away from 16,000 now, which is absolutely unreal. And if you could hit the like button, as you guys always do, if we could hit 500 likes, that'd be fantastic. Now, we have got a very, very big transfer update regarding Chelsea. We're going to talk about their summer window. We're talking about Conor Gallagher potentially off to Atletico Madrid. And we're also going to talk about Victor Osimhen on his way to Chelsea. Now, we're going to start with the breaking news that come out from David Ornstein earlier today. Now, before we get into the ins and outs of the Chelsea number 9 situation, since I want to say 2004, 2005, Chelsea notoriously have struggled when it comes to signing number 9s. They've had 2 really successful number 9s in that time, in Didier Drogba and Diego Costa. But then a lot of their strikers haven't really worked out, in the likes of Samuel Eto'o, Fernando Torres. I know he won the Champions League, but in terms of his overall performances in a Chelsea shirt, it didn't really go to plan. Falcao, Gonzalo Higuain, Morata. The names are endless. Andrei Shevchenko. But David Ornstein has come out and said Napoli in ongoing talks with Chelsea to sign Romelu Lukaku, while discussions between Napoli and Chelsea also taking place about a move for Victor Osimhen. Now, Antonio Conte and Romelu Lukaku have a fantastic relationship, and that they were both very, very, very important when it comes to that title-winning season with Inter Milan a few years ago. You know, Lukaku bagged a brace against arch rivals AC in a 3-1 win under Antonio Conte's Milan. They got to a Europa League final together. They were very, 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 very strong. Then he got his move to Chelsea, and for whatever reason, it hasn't really worked out. He spent loan spells at Roma, and now they are looking to sign. Napoli are looking to reunite Antonio Conte and Romelu Lukaku back together for another few seasons at least. He's 30, 31. He's still got a lot in the tank, in my opinion. You know, I think Lukaku is a little bit disrespected. Don't get me wrong. Technically, he's not the best striker in the world, but his output is very, very, very good. Now, when you look at Victor Osimhen, this is the sort of signing that takes Chelsea, in my opinion, into the Champions League. In my opinion. Now, when we look at Chelsea's situation, they've got a lot of players that, in my opinion, are very, very good. You know, Reece James, Cole Palmer, and Nkunku. You know, you've got some top talent in there. But this is the sort of signing that takes Chelsea from being in and around the Champions League or fighting for Champions League to pretty much solidifying that they will be up there. You're bringing in a player that guarantees you goals. You know, you've got the fullback set up with Reece James and Cucurella. You got a relatively balanced midfield. Now that you've got, you know, the likes of Drewsby Hall going in there. And not only that, they've sold a lot of talent this summer. Chelsea has sold Maatsen, Lewis Hall, Omari Hutchinson, 3 academy graduates. You know, Ziyech has gone on a free transfer. Sarr's gone on a free transfer. Thiago Silva's gone on a free transfer. Then they've also brought in the likes of Kieran Drewsby Hall, Omari Kellerman, Renato Vega, Wiley, you know, Mark Gui, Tosin Adarabioyo. They've done a lot of clever business. And I've been very critical on Chelsea in the past, saying that what they're doing, I don't really see the plan. But I do see the plan when you're bringing in a player like Victor Osimhen. I do see what the end goal is. And the end goal is to obviously win silverware. But you bring in a player who, in my humble opinion, he walks into that Chelsea dressing room next season and as a bare minimum scores 20 goals in all comps. As a bare minimum. Probably 30 in all comps, the fact that they are in the Champions League. Yeah, sorry, the Conference League. Now, Philippe Jorgensen has just passed his medical test as a Chelsea player in the US. Contract valid until June 2030. The goalkeeper from Villarreal will now be a Chelsea player. Very, very, very busy window in terms of both incomings and outgoings for Chelsea. And this is the sort of signing for me that just, it's another clever signing, Jorgensen. So, they've got quality goalkeepers now. Now, when you look at Fabrizio Romano's tweet with regards to Conor Gallagher, this is going to be an interesting situation because if Conor Gallagher, according to a lot of the reports, an exclusive from Fabrizio Romano at 8 a.m. this morning was Atletico Madrid and Chelsea are now in direct talks for Conor Gallagher. Now, when you talk about Diego Simeone, when you talk about what his, teams are all about, they're all about energy, working hard. I think this is a very good signing for Atletico Madrid. And it's another academy graduate that Chelsea are going to sell for around £30 million. Atletico Madrid and Chelsea are now in direct talks for Conor Gallagher deal. Negotiations underway for package worth around 35 to 40 million, add-ons included, requested by Chelsea. Gallagher on the top of Atletico Madrid list as revealed in May, now getting closer. For me, it's a clever bit of business from Chelsea. I'm not going to lie. I think it's another player who, in my opinion, I think he's a relatively good bit of business for Atletico Madrid. I think I'm actually a fan of Conor Gallagher. I think in terms of Atletico Madrid, I think he fits the system quite easily. I think in terms of the way he plays, in terms of Chelsea, it's another academy sale. It's more money going against their FFP. And Chelsea going into next season, in my opinion, are going to be, they're going to be a very strong side, in my opinion. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with regards to their centre-back situation. Now, in terms of Chelsea next season, how could they line up? I've put together a lineup which I think they could line up first game of the season against Manchester City. Now, obviously, Chelsea have got one thing they have got is quality in depth in terms of the options that they can put forward against Manchester City. I think they may line up something like this. Nkunku in the 10, Drewsbury Hall in the 8, Caicedo in the 6. Obviously, James and Lavia will both go forward into midfield positions. Diassi and Adarabioyo probably going to be the centre-back pairing. I'm not too sure in what Chelsea are going to do on that left-hand side with regards to Raheem Sterling, or they're going to play someone else. But I think that's a good 11, and I think Chelsea are going to surprise a lot of people next season. Manchester United as well. We are going into arguably the most competitive Premier League we are likely to see, because it used to be a top 4, but now you've got, kind of a top 8. You got a top 8. Now, I look at what could Chelsea do next season? The bare minimum should be winning that Conference League. Second should be getting into that top 4 or getting as close to that top 4 as you could possibly imagine. And thirdly would be something like, bringing in a couple more players in January, and then just getting the play style underway, because they did lose to Celtic in the Conference League, in pre-season, and they drew to Wrexham. Now, the only worry I would have if you're a Chelsea fan is, obviously they play Club America next, and you fancy Chelsea to put 3 or 4 goals past them. But then the remainder of the pre-season, you're playing Real Madrid, Manchester City, and Inter Milan. You do not want to lose the next 3 games after that Club America, knowing that you've lost 5 of your 6 pre-season games. then you're playing Manchester City first game of the season on the Sunday when the whole world's going to be watching. You don't want to go into the season losing 5 out of your 6 pre-season games. It's going to be interesting to see where Nkunku plays. It's going to be interesting to see where Cole Palmer plays. Because Cole Palmer can obviously play in the 10, but he can play out wide. He was absolutely brilliant for England when he come on during the Euros. And Christopher Nkunku, according to Chelsea's hierarchy, they want to play him in the 10. So if they want to play him in the 10, then you obviously put Palmer out wide. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens with regards to that. Obviously, Chelsea have been linked to Julian Alvarez. Now, Guardiola come out last night and appeared to give a frosty response when asked about Julian Alvarez's future. He's been linked to Arsenal. He's been linked to Chelsea. But it says Guardiola appeared to give a frosty response when asked about Julian Alvarez. Alvarez is understood to be weighing up his options with both Arsenal and Chelsea reportedly interested in signing the Argentine after turning down a new contract. The 2022 World Cup winner came 7th on the Ballon d'Or rankings in 2023 and is understood to want more game time despite featuring in 54 domestic games last season, including 36 of City's 38 league games. It then went on to say, speaking during City's pre-season tour of the United States, Guardiola said, I read that he's going to think about it. Okay, think about it. And then he will inform us what he wants to do. Julian played a lot. He wants more. It's fine. So that's why he wants to think about it. And then when he thinks about it, he will inform us. There's not a lot of reassurance there to say that, he's happy. Guardiola has always been that if a player wants to leave, the door is well and truly open. That's the way he's always been. Do let me know your thoughts down below with regards to Chelsea and all their signings. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have subscribed. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. I am